Say that again. Missed that. All right, good. Welcome to the show, everybody. There she is. Hello, darling. Tyson. Yes, I totally want to join with the mic muted. LOL. So, did you hear in world news? What's his name? So, Kabi Lame. He was the Senegalese Italian gentleman who used to do the TikToks that would be like, you're not watching. You're busy doing other things. No, but it was a visual thing. Can't see me? Can't see me? Mia wants our governor? Who's Mia? Steve's muted. Steve's not muted. Steve's not muted. No, you're not coming through. Why? What the fuck is going on? What is going on? Don't dick tease me. Is that better? For some reason, my outputs got all mixed up. So you can listen. I heard you breathe. Okay, and I saw him. I saw him in the thing.
Hello, I'm talking and saying things. Blah, blah, blah.
Mia Khalifa wants to be your governor? That would be awesome. Awesome.
Would it?
Halden Keppel. Bernard Trevelyan. I can't tell you from lengthy experience that Steve is a sweetheart, years in the making. Oh, she wants to, ew. Gavin fucking Lizard Brain Newsom? Seriously? Gavin the fucking the Team U American Psycho?
I think that's someone.
Well, that's one thing we can definitely say is that Mia Khalifa was never big on fucking good life decisions. So,
I feel like Mia Khalifa got a bad rep.
For what?
She got a shit deal.
For what? What are you talking about?
For being a fucking, like, she got ripped off from all, like, what she did. She was terribly underpaid and she was treated like crap. That's my 2 cents on it.
Go on.
I mean, maybe because it could be because I myself am.
Are you sympathetic to the matter?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Isn't there a porn star union?
Not that I'm aware of.
You know, of all the businesses that I think, of all the industries that I think that could benefit. That there isn't like,
unionizing.
Huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Unionizing.
Absolutely.
I can agree with that.
I also think that strippers should unionize. I've been saying that before, but the problem with when it comes to the problem with strippers and the porn industry is simply the fact that you are going to have what they call scabs, which are people that are not going to want to unionize but still want to work, and they're going to come in and they're going to undercut the union workers. Because there's always going to be that person that's like, I'm hungry and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to take that $100 check. Woo. And they undercut.
Yeah, I think even whether it's, you're going to find that in any kind of place that wants to unionize.
No, well, I mean, yes. But usually most established industries have less resistance to collective bargaining agreements. So like bartending, truck drivers, all the places, painters, construction workers, actors.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's hungry to get into acting, but not everybody can get into acting. I hate to say, the reality is with OnlyFans as proof is like anybody can be a porn star. Everybody can be an internet stripper.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the problem.
Prime example.
I mean, I'll show my titties. Tip me. The milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard, and they're like,
that sells.
Bartending. Okay. I'm a bartender. I am a 18-year bartender. I love that job.
I wanted to do that for a while too.
It's a great job. It's not as hard as everybody makes it out to be. There's, like anything, like any skilled trade, because that's actually what bartending is a skilled trade. There's different levels to it. I used to bartend in Atlantic City. I bartended at multiple bars, and I spent majority of my time at Taj Mahal before it no longer existed. And I worked in a bunch of different things, but my forte, they love flagging people. I don't love flagging people. I like flagging ignorant people. When people are being dickheads, that's the fastest way to get me to flag you.
Yeah, I feel like
no, I disagree with that statement. And using their job to exert power over clients, no, not at all. That's not in your best interest as a bartender, because that's the fastest way to not make any money. Yeah, I absolutely I despise ignorance. But that's where a lot of my mindset comes from, is that's where I greet everybody with the same level of respect. And it's from that moment forward that whether you earn more or lose it, that's just the way I am. I will meet the same energy as you. So the fastest way for me to lose respect for you is to be openly ignorant.
Yeah. I think but that's another thing. Like when you're dealing with especially in bartending, you're dealing with a lot of people who are inebriated, and they're not the quickest of cats or the sharpest of tools. They're just tools. But you gotta, I don't know. I feel like bartending is such a.
Bartending is blue collar psychiatry.
Job. I was just gonna say, because you kind of play psychiatrist a lot, and because a lot of people go to drink just to forget their problems, and they want to they kind of just need someone to vent to, and you're there. You can't really go anywhere, so.
Halden, you have some interesting takes, brother. The bar I go to tells me they are awesome people just for simply allowing me to go in the bar. Why? Why did they say that to you?
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that one.
We had this one guy used to come in all the time. He used to come over to the club all the time. Fuck. I want to say Styles, but that's not what his nickname was. His nickname was
Shit.
valid. Let me guess, you're brutally honest and they don't appreciate it. Fair enough.
He needs a new bar.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tyson on that one. You need a new bar. What the fuck was his name? Hicks. Shout out to Hicks. Do you remember Hicks? He came by the club a couple of times. He didn't come by much. He was a security guard for like Tropicana, and he was a security guard for Land Shark. And he just has that ability. No, I'm not brutally honest. Okay.
Was he like a heavy set black dude with like, and he always had, I think
he had the one patch of white right here, and he'd be like, "This is my white spot."
It's ringing distant bell.
But as the night would progress, and he would get shittier and shittier. He would just like start hanging and talking, and like he'd always have to like put his hand, like he'd have to like stiff arm you.
Oof.
And he would. Let me tell you, foo. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Victoria was a bartender as well.
Nice. Where? Because
that's actually how we met at the.
I was going to say in another country.
At when I used to valet at the Marriott.
I would be flagged for life if I ever dared to be that. Maybe. Most bartenders I know are brutally honest at their core. You find that people end up respecting it. If they can't respect it, then they can fuck off.
As a bartender, what's one question you get tired of hearing? Or one, maybe not a question, but like one thing you get tired of hearing?
It's something tired of hearing. That's easy. I'll hook you up. That's a death sentence. That means you're getting screwed.
I'll take care of you later, my man. I got you later.
Questions, the same thing that you used to get at the door all the time. It's always like the same dumb shit. With where I go to, I believe would never allow me to be brutally honest. Okay. So how do you answer their questions? I'm interested. I'm curious. My curiosity is piqued. Questions. What questions? I mean, this is me being a little bit snooty, but if you have to ask like how much a drink costs before you even order one, you probably shouldn't go out to the bar. So like when they want you to get like the rundown, like how much is this, how much is that, how much is, or another. You know what? I take it back. I got it. My absolute most biggest pet peeve question as a bartender is, what's your menu? I hate that. It's proof that like you don't know how to go to a bar. You go there, you order the thing that you like. If we don't have it, then you figure out something, either I offer you something that's close to that, because that's my job to know that if you order a Canadian Club that you like Canadian whiskey, or a Black Velvet, or a VO. I know that those are all Canadian whiskeys, so I know that if we don't have the one, I got the other. That kind of thing. But don't go to like, what's your menu? I'm sorry. Do you see me 5 deep at the fucking bar right now, and you want me to list off every beer and alcohol that I have behind this thing with 200 bottles behind me? Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I feel like anytime, because I remember when I had first turned 21, which was really like the first time I drank, I believe, and I remember I hit you up. I was like, hey, like my friends are going out. We're going out to the pool. And
or
like, what's a
good drink? I fucking hate that. What's a good drink?
But you, sir, had told me, because you're one of my best buds, and I knew you were a bartender, and I was like, hey, you bartend. I'm going out for my 21st with some friends. What should I get? How should I, like, what's the bar etiquette? And you were just like, you like vodka, get a Sprite and vodka, just get those, tip good, like whatever whatever it costs, tip, like,
walk up, throw a 20 on the fucking bar, order something, whatever it is, push the change into the fucking rail, and you're going to get taken care of all night.
Exactly. I did that, and that was the night I ended up at the roof of the pool, completely forgot the English language, and I got kicked out. Not kicked out, but like they were just like, hey man, you're too drunk, you gotta go. And my friend Stephanie drove me home, tucked me into bed, and I did not remember what happened.
Sir Gabe Owners, who are these two Nancy boys? Who are you, Sir Gabe Owners?
He has gay boners?
Gabe Owners. She said, do you trust me? Depends on the circumstance. She then starts with saying, liar, Halden called me a liar, Halden called me a... it sounds like they're trying to fuck with you. How do I reword that?
Gay boners.
Gabe.
Did you just get that? Are you just getting that?
What, gay boners?
Yeah, gay boners.
Gay boners?
Gay boners.
No, I that's why I repeated you. I got that. Stavros Halkias?
Stavros. I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I. Well, welcome to the chat.
Welcome to the fray.
And still me did that 8 minutes later. Let's see.
Oh, Stavros Halkias.
I don't know.
He's funny as fuck.
I don't know who that is.
He's a comedian. Yeah, he's funny as hell. I fucking love
That's
that
who
guy.
Gabe Boners is?
He has a podcast too.
Get out of here. Nah, yeah. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
He just had someone on his podcast
with the slick back. Oh, he's calling me that.
Did you just realize? That's who you look like, man. Dude, it's
whatever.
I can kind of see it a little bit. If you had maybe like tried to grow your hair out and gained like another 40 pounds, that's where you'd be.
40 pounds? I gotta go more than that, dude.
You're like a six. Yeah, you're like a
I gotta go way more than 40 pounds. I am. Listen, I'm just sitting back. I gotta go a lot more than 40 pounds. It's easy, Halden. Just be honest.
Well, there is I think there is a distinct difference between like being honest and then brutally honest.
Welcome to the fray there, Gabe Boners. And thanks for the follow.
Oh, appreciate that. Where is I actually have to updates. Go back to Google Chrome. Let me get this up. Yeah, gay boners is not gay boners. Fuck. Stavros is.
What's wrong,
Fuck.
Steve? What's wrong, Steve? You got some
I'm
gay
just thinking-
boners on
I'm
your
just
mind?
I do. Like the demons, they come to me in my mind. It's just
And they come to the chat.
that too. Here we go. Font settings.
But in
There
that
we go.
situation, they didn't put up with it. Who cares? You are not dictated by what other people can handle and can't handle.
Agreed.
Just don't be hostile. Like, that's the only thing is, like, if you're going to be brutally honest, be brutally honest. Just don't be hostile.
Yeah. I agree.
So, you got any more bartender questions?
What would you say is I would say the most difficult drink to make as a bartender?
There's nothing that's really too, quote unquote, difficult.
No.
No, as long as you know the recipe, it's not that difficult. Tedious? That's a different question. There's a lot of tedious ass drinks.
What's the most tedious drink?
When you're like 3, 4, or 5 deep at the bar and somebody orders a Long Island iced tea and you got to like stop what you're doing and grab every bottle that you have and jam it into a glass. That's a bit of a pain in the ass. Anything that requires like muddling or anything like that. Again, in the situation of if you're the only person sitting at the bar, I have no problem making you absolutely anything. Martinis, you name it. Manhattans, old fashions. I'll do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like that, like that's the other part is like if you're at a nightclub and the place is packed and it's slamming, Jaeger bomb, that's cool, whatever, that's easy. That's a Red Bull and a shot. Okay. Don't order anything fucking fancy. Nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to stop and care that you're drinking a Cosmopolitan in the middle of a nightclub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the person who's going to notice is the bartender who has to stop and go grab his shaker and measure everything the fuck out. And yeah, that's who's going to fucking notice.
Yeah. What is the most annoying drink for you to prep? Says Vibu in YouTube chat.
We used to have these fucking cocktails that we made at the casinos that were pretty tedious. They were trying to be like new age and like they wanted us to be show tenders, and I'm not a show tender. I'm a nightclub bartender. I'm used to like being elbow deep in the ice and just slinging drinks as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Mojito would probably be one of the most annoying preps because the mint never lasts and you're sitting there fucking picking leaves trying to find the ones that aren't rotten to put in there, because literally like you buy mint and then like the next day it's starting to die. That's one. If you're an old fashioned bar, like what I mean is like a bar that preps for old fashions, and you're going to have all the stuff that you're going to need to make that kind of stuff. You're going to be prepared for that already. So you grab the rind, you grab the cherry, sugar. You're going to have all that stuff already like there. But when you're not, and like you're not a complex drink bar, and you have like olives and cherries, and like that is your, you have like your standard like olives, cherries, and limes and lemons, and that's it for garnishes. And somebody orders something and you're like sitting there like peeling the rind off of a lemon at the side of the bar, throwing that in a glass, then you know, cherry like muddle in it, and it's like that's a pain in the dick.
That's understandable.
See, Victoria knows. I would say if you're a bar that does like a lot of rimming, do you know what that is? You go just around the outside.
Tell me more about this bar and where can I find it?
So there's a couple bars, especially like beach bars, do it a lot, where they'll do like rimming, but they'll do rimming in a way that like they have multiple drinks that do it. Like they'll rim Bloody Marys with like Old Bay, and then you got to like if you like you got to have a setup like just for salt. That. You can't like flip that and then like go and do that again, because as soon as you stick a glass, what you do is you take a lime, you rim the glass, and then you put it in the Old Bay. So immediately you're putting lime juice on the surface that the powder's on. So now you got to wash that. You get to wash that whole rack, or you have that rack dedicated to that. So like a lot of bars who have like multi-rimmed drinks, because, you know, the higher ups who have absolutely no consciousness of what it actually takes to make these kinds of drinks are like, I want 5 different things that have like chocolate and Old Bay and fucking crystallized sugar, suck my dick. You gotta have all that set up.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, if you're at a restaurant and like some table of old biddies orders like all 5 of those drinks specifically because they're on a fucking menu. I hate menus. I hate menus, because that's what happens. And then you're sitting there spending 20 minutes on one table because you got to rim every fucking glass that's about to go out 5 different ways. Oh, she hit my PTSD, dude. Fuck. Here you go. Here's a hot fucking take. No bar in the world should have a cappuccino machine behind it. I am not a barista. I am a bartender.
I agree with that.
Well, they stuck a fucking cappuccino machine behind my bar at the Taj. That was, oh. I don't like rimming.
Don't knock it till you try it, man.
I don't like ribbing. I don't mind getting ribbed.
Really? You never struck me as a type. Wait, are we still talking about coffee?
A man who cleans his backyard is expecting company.
That's true.
But all right, what's the most annoying thing you had to deal with in one of your previous jobs? Club excluded, because I know all those.
Yeah,
I did that.
Should I list those chronologically or alphabetically?
Or alphabetically.
Oh God. The first one that comes to mind is like sort of synonymous with what you had said before, was when I was a valet and I'd pull up someone's car for them. But like, I'll get you on the way back now. I'll get you next. Like
that's the death sentence.
I got to a point where like that happened for so many times, and I'd just be like, no, you won't. And it was just ridiculous. There was one time when it was an open lot in the back, and I pull up this guy's car. It's like a fucking some Mercedes bullshit, and I pull up this car, you know, and it's an open lot in the back, so you know, seagulls be shitting by the shore.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. He wanted you to wash his car.
Yeah, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Didn't even fucking like bother to tip me at all. And expected me to like grab a bunch of like cocktail napkins and like a bottle of water and like start. I was just like, hey bud, I gotta pick up other cars, you know.
See, I'm too spiteful. I'm too spiteful for that job. I'm way too spiteful for that job. Way too. You would
just get up and drop trout and shit right on the hood of his car.
No. I'd bring a lunchbox. That lunchbox would have fucking smoked fish in it. It's going somewhere in their fucking vehicle.
Oh, oh my god.
I would stash it somewhere inside of their car. That would not be easy for them to find, especially if it's like a repeat customer that's a douchebag.
I actually made the mistake once of
No, I would never key it. I would never do anything that would be like blatantly obvious. I would do something to be like a time bomb. So like they take their car, they leave, and then like 2 days later they come back and they're like, I don't know what happened. I parked my car in some parking lot and it just stinks like fish. Yeah, that sucks.
I actually once went grocery shopping and had, I guess, like, of all the bags of groceries, a thing, it was a sealed container, but it was like a thing of like chicken just can't like slid out of it.
Ooh.
And it like slid out towards the back of the trunk. And it wasn't until like a couple weeks later that I could really I'm like, where the, like, what the fuck is that smell? And then
you know where I got that idea from?
I get in the trunk and I look and there's just that chicken that's just been there.
You know where I got that idea from?
Where?
My daughter. Because she does that shit to me. We'll go out to eat. We'll go to like fucking Wawa and we'll order something. And she loves sour cream. So we got to get sour cream. I find packets of like half squeezed sour cream sitting in the back of my car. And I'm like, why does it smell like baby vomit and shit in my car all the time?
Probably because there's actual baby vomit and shit there. But I'm sure the sour cream didn't help.
No, knock on wood. Knock on wood. My kids have never thrown up in my vehicle except for like one time that I had the car detailed. But yeah, no, it's my daughter. She likes to like stash it and like leave it like next to a window. So it just sits there and bakes in the sun. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Terrible.
Yeah.
I would say, what would you say is like the best job you ever had?
It depends. I don't like working. I don't like working.
Yeah.
So every job has its moment. That was really good. Sometimes I didn't know it until it was over. When I was working at a college back when I was like a teenager, like my favorite thing was like the ride in, the ride out, because it was just like so meditating.
That's kind of what I liked about like working one of my last jobs. It was like
I like
literally from where I'm at now to New York. But I loved it. I hated the job, but and I hated the drive too, but like it was great because I got to listen to my audiobooks.
Okay.
And even if there was like bumper to bumper traffic, I'm like, this is fine. I didn't mind it too much.
Not where you're at, Halden. Where are you at?
I wouldn't say that actually. I wouldn't let people give their location.
Yeah, don't give your location.
Yeah.
Can't tell what the job is. If it's that hyper specific, then don't say anything.
Yeah.
My job is stressful at the time, but oh my God, it is the best place I have ever worked. People are friendly, caring. They actually listen to their employees and can genuinely care. That's always a bonus when you got a really good team like that. Just about to say I won't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if it's hyper specific, don't give away where you're at. But like, I guess I was gonna say what you do, but
I think probably the best was when I worked at Spencer's corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
That was such a fucking cush job because like it wasn't too far from where I lived. And it was, for the time, like really good pay, and
Don't dox yourself, Tyson.
and it was
Smart ass.
probably and it had its perks because like I used to get like free shit all the time because like pretty much anything that Spencer sold, whether it was like Bluetooth speakers, body jewelry. I used to get like boxes of like small boxes of body jewelry for like nothing. I got like 2
Here, I'll be right
Bluetooth
back.
speakers for like 150. They were $150 each. I got them for like $3. Like little things like that were really cool. I kind of missed that job. There was some parts of, I mean, it was an administrative like office job. So there's always going to be parts of it where it's like pretty shitty. I think anytime you have an administrative job, that just kind of, that's an inevitability. But I work somewhere in the United States. Yeah. That's good enough.
The vape shop was probably the chillest job I ever had until it wasn't, because that's what happens. I really enjoyed doing landscaping for a period of time. I learned as much as I could about that job, and then it wasn't fun anymore. It was tedious as hell. Dishwashing, cooking, did it all. When it comes to a restaurant, I think all jobs are, for me, all jobs are fun for a period of time until I learn everything about it and there's nothing new to learn. And then it just gets like tedious and my brain just goes like, I don't want to do this anymore. I fell asleep on a lawnmower, like the riding lawnmower.
God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's that was actually like that was either the day I quit or the day I put my 2 weeks in. Bartending is the only job that like you are constantly dealing with something new. You were constantly dealing with something new.
I think that's the same for me because there's always like jobs. I noticed this as I was updating my resume. With the exception of maybe a few jobs that lasted between like 4 to 5, 6 years, maybe. Most of my jobs, I'm there for like a year and then I'm out.
That's not good. Just so that you know, like resume wise.
I know. People probably see that and they're like, "What's the pattern here?"
Yeah,
but
well, as a previous manager, that's something that I look at.
Mm-hmm.
If I see like a pattern of people leaving jobs constantly, that's literally my first question is, so why did you leave this last job? Mm-hmm. Why did you leave the job before that? And if I don't get like a decent enough answer, like if I get like, well, they didn't fit for me. I wasn't a good fit. And it's like, and I'm not ragging on you. This is just sort of general advice.
Yeah.
I don't look at that as like, all right, so you've had 20 jobs in the past 20 years and you've spent 6 months here and a year here and 6 months here and a year here. None of them were a good fit. Maybe it wasn't the jobs. When everybody around you is an asshole, it may not be them.
Yeah.
So
no, there was I think for me, it was a combination of a few things. Like I think it was the second job I ever had. It was working at a Salad Works.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, it was the one I got arrested in front of.
And
yeah, you forget that.
I don't remember that.
I came to pick you up and then I got thrown across the front of a car. And I distinctly remember with my hands being handcuffed behind me going, Steve, you're going to have to call your dad to get another ride.
Oh man, I don't.
You don't remember that?
No.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. I won't go into details. It was expunged.
But the job that I had, that the manager of that place was this just like miserable old man who was just like
Unfortunately,
gray
Halden,
hair, gray beard.
unfortunately, Halden, you didn't give enough detail to actually create an impression, so I don't know.
Yeah, that guy was just like fucking miserable, and he would like throw shit at his employees. He was cursing, and like there was a time when I
remember you
went to his
telling me about
office
it.
and I was like, hey, should we put these things away with this one? Should we consolidate these or whatever? And he was just like, do whatever you want. Don't give a shit. And I was just like, okay. And then one day when he was he threw one bucket at like another employee who was like a kid my age too, and he made another employee cry in the same day. Like me and like three of the other employees just fucking walked out and quit. We're like, fuck you, you're an asshole. Like this isn't worth the $7.25 an hour or whatever the fuck it was at the time. Yeah, like other than that, like most of my jobs I kind of always like worked my way up the corporate ladder, so to speak.
I'm hoping you would love the bartender that kept saying Halden called me a liar. No, because she sounds like an insufferable bitch. I was in a uniform similar to Albertsons, and I was delivering stuff to the store, and my regional manager told me I had to attend an employee meeting. I was fired from Albertsons, even though I never worked there. Nice. She just wearing the uniform. I tried to tell her that she wouldn't listen.
I just went through our what's it called? Our alerts. So our alerts should be like all caught up. I noticed on Kick there was like a couple things that were like the default, so I just added the same theme, like the logo spin and the same sounds and shit.
She's the owner's 20-year engaged girlfriend. Well, is she tall? Is she short? Is she fat? Is she blonde? Is she brunette? Is she speckled? Freckled? We both said freckled at the same time. So I just walked out and I was told by her in the parking lot if I didn't come back, she would fire me. I said, okay, and got into my company delivery vehicle and left. And as I drove away, she followed and yelled at me and said, you're fired. Don't come back. Aye, aye, Cap. You're a bright one.
Nice.
And is basically the only bartender there. Now here's the question: What was she his girlfriend before she got the job or after she got the job? Because that'll usually tell you the relationship. Like, sure, let me not come back. I would see now. See, this is where I would have been a complete dickhead and shown up the next day and said, "I want my last paycheck." I want my last paycheck right now.
God, I remember there was one, but when I was a valet, there was a guy that ran our like the hotel hired the valet group as like an outside company to handle the parking of like people's cars and shit. And he fucking was a terrible alcoholic, and we ended up having to like pick up our paychecks once like from the bar. Like, dude was just, it was terrible. I do not miss that job.
So she was his girlfriend years before he opened the bar. It sounds like he found a place to stick her so she was fucking stay busy because she sounds like a busybody. Said this dude me is an authorized vendor. She looked at the GM and said, "Don't lie to me." It was great. Again, I would have been like, I didn't know you guys did brain surgeries here. You got a brain surgeon on your hands. The fucking rocket scientist over here. Fucking rocket appliances.
Fucking trees, I count on them. The tree meister.
Not my chin, not my problem.
I always say. Do you?
Do I what?
How should I word this?
I don't know. How should you? I don't like green eggs and ham.
I don't like them, Sam. I am.
To this day, I see the GM at a different company. He said he quit shortly after she had an aneurysm, however you spell that. And it's pretty close. And he quit that day. She had an actual aneurysm? Like she just like flopped on the floor or she flipped out? What is your question? How do you leave an asshole in suspense?
Yeah. Never mind. Fuck, what was the question I was gonna ask? Oh, did you see Spaceman?
Spaceman. See Spaceman. Spaceman?
With Adam Sandler?
No.
Good movie, actually.
That's what you were gonna ask me, and that's what you were struggling to word?
No, that's not what I was gonna ask you, but it came to mind.
Do you know what gurning is?
Gurning?
Gurning.
Wasn't he like one of like Hitler's friends?
No, that's Goering.
Goering. That was close.
Gurning. Gurning.
I don't know what that is.
Just look it up. That face is priceless.
Like that. I'm trying to do it.
When people say don't tell people that
oh my god.
Oh
my god. Oh.
Letting them win is BS.
Fucking eating his own nose. How do you? Good lord. I don't like it. Thanks. I hate it.
Right. Are you a gurner? You gurner? What were you going to ask me, Steve?
Oh, do you think so but it's kind of like coincides with what we were talking about earlier. Do you think that raising minimum wage, like things like raising minimum wage and lowering the the cost of living, like, you know, right, like lowering the price of groceries and stuff like that, do you think that, but primarily raising minimum wage, do you think that's going to help with how, you know, inflation has become a thing and like how people are like most Americans are struggling to make ends meet right now? Like, what do you think would help? Do you think raising minimum wage is one of the things that we should do? Huh?
An economic crash, a complete and utter economic crash, I think would help. No, I think raising. I think the problem that we have, and what a lot of people don't realize, is everybody wanted. I can only speak to New Jersey as what I've experienced. When it comes to the minimum wage, I think that raising outside the rate of inflation, it's such a hard topic. Okay, so do I think, first of all, do I think people should be paid a living wage? Yes. Do I think that comes from minimum wage? No. The problem is when you have a $15 minimum wage, especially when you are increasing it from, say, $5, $10, and you jump it like an increment of 5, you're playing a dangerous game, because the businesses who actually have to pay that go from paying, let's whip out the calculator and do some basic math here, because I want to be correct and I don't want to fucking say the wrong thing. But let's say you have 10 employees, right? Sake of round numbers, and you pay them $10 an hour for 40 hours a week. Okay, that's $4,000 a week. That's your overhead. That's what you have to pay out. You have to make more than that to be profitable. Plus, you also have to pay income tax and health benefits and all the other fucking shit that's tacked on top of that by itself per week. Now, so $4,000. Now we'll say we'll just go up $15. What's $15? Times 10. That's $150 an hour. Times 40 hours. That's $6,000. Now, that's my point, is you limit the company's hiring capability, because what if the company was already at its margins and $4,000 is all it can really afford to pay out? So now you're talking about, now they can't have 10 employees. Now they can only afford 6 employees times 15. 7. We'll say 7 employees. 7 times 15 is 105. That's close, but you're still spending more than normal. Yeah, you're still spending $200 over your initial margin. And so you literally limit your hiring capacity by 3. It's a complex question. Should people get paid a living wage? Yes. Should we do something about this fucking inflation? Yes. That's, if you want to increase people's living wage, you need to be able to increase their spending power, not their buying power. Or no, both. You have to increase their buying and spending power. And when you take that away, the problem is when you start cranking that up, that inflation overall goes up with it, because now the company has to try and figure out how to juggle its margins. So then the price of everything else in that store that those people are working in now goes up. So let's say that they can't function with 7 employees. They have to have 10. Correct? So now they have to disperse that $2,000 margin across the products at which they sell, or some other service. Okay. So great. Now you're paying people more, but now everything else that they're trying to buy costs more. You following?
Yes.
And what we need to do is we need to start getting things to cost less. And that's virtually That is really fucking hard to do. And the only way that you can do that is a competitive market. Because what's going to end up happening is so let's say we're selling widgets. A widget store opens up next door to another widget store, and they can figure out how to do it with 5 customers. So now their prices are cheaper. Now this person they're not selling it, which means their margins are now going down. So they went from being strapped as is to now they can not only afford that $2,000, they can't afford the $3,000 because they lost $1,000 in revenue. You see, it's a big complex cog machine fucking thing. Yeah. It's not as simple as just like handing people more money. Handing people more money doesn't work. So that's literally what 2020 to now is proof of. Because all of the unemployment and all that stuff, and what a lot of people don't realize is like New Jersey did the minimum wage thing, and it was a step-by-step increase from 2020 to 2025. Today, the minimum wage now, a lot of companies jumped on it and were like, okay, instead of waiting until 2025, we're just going to fucking pay everybody $15 as is. And then we're going to try and figure out how to make up the difference. That's another reason why, like think about a little mom and pop shop, like a soap store, right?
Yeah.
How many people can you hire if you're paying everybody $5 an hour? And that $5, that's the other part about it. That is that $5 has to be enough buying power for it to be worth it to do the job. That $5 has to get you more than half a soda. That $5 has to be a whole lunch. And the problem is like McDonald's value meals are fucking $15 to $20 now. They're like $21 fucking dollars.
Yeah, I noticed that how it used to be. So
here's the thing. McDonald's employees, right? They're all getting paid $15 an hour. So we start paying them $20 an hour because a value meal is $20. What happens to the value meal?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. God, what the? We need to do better. We need to make you president is what we need to do. If you had the opportunity, would you run for president?
No. Governor, maybe.
Trump said that too. He said he wouldn't run.
Yeah, okay. I need the money in the backing.
You got my vote.
And think about it. This is the other problem to that equation that everybody also eliminates out. So you hire a person and they're making $15 an hour. After a year, do you pay them a raise? Should you not reward your employees' loyalty? Shouldn't you?
A lot of people get raises and stuff too.
So if you get a raise, so let's say it's you can't do 25-cent raises anymore because they're fuck all. So you got to give them $1 raise. So now it goes from $15 an hour to $16 an hour. Where's that margin coming from? Your profits. What happens when your profits get cut into? You got to make more profits. Because if your profits get cut in too much, then the business goes under.
Yeah.
So
and that's another question I like. I've seen some places that are like nonprofit.
Do you want to know what actually improves companies' spending power? Because you can take this entire thing and flip it. And you can say the exact same thing is the millionaires, the people sitting at the top who make all this stuff and pay all these people. Do you know how they increase their spending power?
I want to say they
starts with a T. Tax cuts. That's how a company improves its spending power, because it doesn't have to spend as much. Because there was a very powerful video that was going around that I wish we could watch, where this woman calls all of her it was like a hand and stone. And she calls all of her employees over and she says, guess how much it costs me to pay you guys for 3 years. And they're all guessing different numbers. One's guessing like 10,000, one's guessing like 100,000, one guesses like 200,000. Now, this is what she's saying is this is the income tax that I have to pay out on top of paying you and your income tax. They're guessing all these numbers. She has $375,000 for 3 years. Now, if she kept that money and she didn't have to pay the government that money for wasteful fucking spending that they do, she could pay her employees and it not be as much of a fucking pain on her. Because what you have to do is you got to take that number and you also got to figure out how much they're making. But usually, roughly, if she's paying $375,000 in income to the government, she's paying $375,000 to her employees also. So that's totaling out to like almost $800,000 that she's putting out.
That's like just under $1 million.
Yes.
See, I wanted to start, like, when I went to school for massage therapy too, one of the things that they made us do was we had to create like a mock brochure of like, had we started our own business, like we made a mock brochure of like, what's it called? Like pretty much like what would be on the menu of like the services that you offer, etc. And it kind of inspired me, and I was just like, that would be really cool. Like, I wouldn't mind starting like my own wellness center. Like, I think that'd be really cool. And then, but then like I realized, because I actually looked into it, like start like getting your own LLC really isn't that difficult.
Correct.
I actually found out that it's easier to get an EID, because all you need to do that to start a business is just a bank account.
Yeah.
So just to get started, I thought about like maybe if I just do like freelance stuff at first, get an EID, and then once I like have enough saved up, then I could probably work my way up to an LLC, and then maybe rent out a space where I can, you mean
a TID?
Maybe like, is it a TID?
Yeah, tax identification number.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's a. Or no, isn't that just like your social? EID is the employee.
No, tax identification number is basically like a social for a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a TID. But I looked it up, and like all you needed to do that was to like you just needed a bank account, so I could like open a separate bank account that was specifically for my business.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was looking into doing that, and then for some reason I was just like, oh no, I forget what it was, but there was something that made me not want to pursue it anymore.
Overhead, the cost of fucking everything.
I think that's what I think that was like the discouraging bit when I like looked into like, shit, I gotta like pay a lot up front first.
Yeah.
And I kept like, and I had like some friends and family that would like throw me a phone call. Hey, bring your table over. I'll pay you for an hour for a massage. Or
that's why it is not. It's not a statistic point. It is factually proven that a business fails within the first year of its development, 100% of the time. The way to mitigate that is learning the tax laws and the tax code so that you can avoid paying through the nose through taxes.
Maybe I'll get back into it someday and try that.
Hi, you need a manager? I'll be your secretary too. I'll wear a little bikini. A little vaporwave bikini.
I love it when you talk dirty.
Halden asked a very interesting question. How would my life play out if I developed the trait of being 100% honest? First thing's going to happen is the people that you've already established relationships with will probably be a little uncomfortable. People who are actually not really your friends will disappear. And then you will garner friends and respect because people will know you as a straight talking, 100% brutally honest person. Right, Steve?
Yeah. Wait, was that aimed towards me?
No. No, it was
Okay.
it was actually sort of aimed at me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Do I ever sugarcoat anything with you?
No.
I may apologize for how abrupt I'm going to be, but I will tell you, like not trying to be an asshole, but this is how it is. Not trying to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like I'm not purposely trying to hurt your feelings, but this is how it is. If you learn that disclaimer, like this is not coming from a place of malice. This is coming from a place of honesty and love. You kind of have to deal with the fact of like the phony friends disappearing, but were they ever really worth sticking around anyway? I mean, I live a kind of solitary life, but I got a great relationship with my wife. I would love to go on mic, and I don't even know your answer because my ADHD doesn't allow me to listen. You might want to treat that. Fine. I can't say that. All right. Excuse me for a second, Steve. You're going to have to keep everybody entertained.
I will do my best.
I got to go calm down my baby.
Do your thing. Whoa, everybody, look at me. I'm waving my arms around. I'm so wacky. Whoa. Look at wacky Steve over here. God damn. Space. The final frontier. You know? That their final frontier. That frontier is final, I tell you what. Someone call the men or women in white coats. Actually, Raven, get over there. So, yeah, that would calm me down. Yeah, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like doing this, like streaming is it's been such a interesting it's been an interesting time, man, and I love it. But I've also been like debating like, is this what I want to keep doing? Because there's times when it's like it can be a little discouraging. I was actually just talking to Raven about this. How like there are times when I just don't think I'm gonna be very successful as a streamer, and then there's moments where it's awesome. Like I've had times when like I stream for 12 hours, like from start to finish. I am sitting in front of my computer trying to be entertaining and put on a show and be interesting and be fun, and 12 hours and not one new follower, not one, you know, bit on Twitch or tokens or whatever, like nothing. Zero. But then there's been times when I'm streaming and like for just a half hour in, but all of a sudden like I made $100. So it's such a roll of the dice. You've been at this what you've been at this what, a year?
I think we're pushing 3.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Well, I started streaming myself. I started streaming back in 2016. On and off. Like I would still work like full-time jobs. It wasn't really until this last October that I started doing this like full-time. Actually, both me and John would kind of treat this as like not a full-time gig per se. Like the podcast we would do, we do this a couple days a week. But the podcast itself, I think it was 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure that's when. Actually, I could probably tell you exactly. YouTube. Uh, Studio? Here we go. See, I think it was June of 2023. So yeah, just 2 years we've been doing this. And so yeah, this podcast in particular, we've been at this for about 2 years. We need to talk because in your statement just now, I have like 30 ideas for you. I mean, dude, we're open to any suggestions, really. Because I've been trying to like doing this full time would be beneficial for me because like as a single dad, it's perfect because I can work from home and make my own schedule and yeah, it would be perfect. It would be so good. But like getting started as a streamer is tough because it's such an oversaturated market, especially now, and so many other streaming services have become available to people as a result. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where you kind of learn as you go, and any advice and stuff you kind of take what you can get.
Go ahead, say hi.
Arch.
He waved. Go ahead, say hi. Say hi to everybody.
Oh, bud.
Somebody's talking.
Right there with you, buddy. Oh, get the belly.
You say hi?
Dude, that pickle was a trip.
That flaming pickle.
Oh. You ate one on an empty stomach. How was your stomach for the rest of the night?
Fine.
Yeah.
Tyson, I will take any help. Any help.
That's why I told him.
I appreciate everybody who comes out. Halden, I love you, dude. Tyson, even gay boners. Sir, I'm sorry. He was knighted. He was
Yes.
a knighted gay boner. What's up? What's up, Arch? Can we say night night? Can we say night night? You just like. So figure out how to work a mic, dude. Get your mic on, going live.
That's another thing. Anybody who wants to talk with us, feel free to join our Discord. We got a link tree.
Here's a smile. Bonk. 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 Can I get a laugh out of you? Get a laugh. Waving at everybody. See yourself? Tell them, say, I'm going to be a star one day. You know, Archer, the worst thing for a podcast is dead air. Got to say something. You got to say something. Juice? You got juice. Juice in the cup. Tell everybody what you're drinking.
The blood of my enemies.
What are you drinking? Why are you chugging, bud?
He's thirsty.
Go ahead. Don't be shy. Go ahead. Say something. There you go. He's figuring it out. He's figuring out that the camera's over here. And
Yeah.
he realizes, yeah. It's funny
Attaboy.
seeing the wheels turn.
Attaboy.
You want to hang out in here or do you want to go to bed? Want to go to bed? You don't want to go. Daddy, I want to hang out all night.
I love that he's like kind of getting like he's starting to talk and communicate a little more.
Oh, he's catching on quick. Catching on
yeah.
crazy quick. I said something to him today. I was like, "Thank you," and he's like, "You're welcome." I was like, "Okay, impressive." Of course, he's completely silent here because stage fright.
Yeah. I feel like he just came out of the womb and is just holding his umbilical cord. Like, can somebody cut this? Somebody cut this, please. All right, thank you.
You don't have a
Grabs a
question?
backpack. All right, I'm ready for school.
You don't want to ask Uncle Steve something? Ask Uncle Steve. So
Oh, that was a thing I wanted to bring up yesterday and I forgot. um, have you ever seen the movie Pi?
Life of Pi?
Just Pi,
Just
like the
Pi.
mathematical sign.
Is it like a thriller?
No, it's like a psychological
Yeah, like a psychological
brain
thriller.
tingler
Yeah.
where they're trying to find the name of God
Yes.
within
I
Pi.
haven't seen it. I wanted to see it. I've heard of it.
That one's a trip. And it says there's this guy who's a mathematician who is Jewish, but he does not practice the religion. But he comes across these like Orthodox Jews who are also mathematicians, but they're tying their religion into their science and their maths. And but the guy's like super brilliant. Like he has this neighbor in his apartment complex who's this like little girl who's constantly like has a calculator on hand and gives him these outrageous numbers to do in his head, and he immediately is just like, this, and she's like, that's right. Oh my god, how do you do that?
Grab the mic.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Ah,
Oh no.
yeah, really good movie
Stop
if
it.
you ever get a chance to check that out.
I'll definitely check out Pi. Can you say hello? See you thinking it. I can see you thinking it. Go ahead. Hey, my name is Archer, and I am 1 years old. I will be 2 in 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh my
He's
god.
been here for
I feel like we just had his first birthday.
a whole 2 years.
Oh no, that was the other one's birthday.
A whole 2 years.
Fucking 60-pound 2-year-old.
He's not far off.
You think I'm exaggerating? Only a little bit, though. Like,
What's your favorite color, sir?
Brown.
Brown's your favorite color?
he does poop a lot.
Black.
Yeah.
Gray.
Yeah.
Black and gray.
I think he's talking about our shirts.
Oh yeah.
Archer.
What's the deal with baby food?
B.
B. D.
E.
E.
F.
F.
G.
G.
H.
H.
I.
I.
J.
J.
K.
K.
L.
L.
M. N. Don't hit the mic. N.
N.
O.
O.
P.
P.
Q.
Q.
R.
L. T.
T. U.
V.
V. W.
W,
X. Oh, we're done. All right, he's done performing.
So cute.
D, A,
X.
B,
X.
X, Y,
X.
D,
X, Y, Z. Can you show everybody how you can count?
A,
1,
B, D, O,
1, 2,
2, 4,
4. Stop skipping numbers. 5,
no, 5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
9,
9.
10,
10.
10, 10, 10, 10.
You gotta look over here. Nobody can see what you're looking at over here. You gotta look over here with the camera. Camera. Talk to the camera. See, look, see, it started looking at you. 11.
This is content.
Mesmerized.
So slightly off topic, but I
O,
recently
P,
I
D, D, R, T.
he's doing so good. But slightly off topic, I recently heard somewhere that women who are what they call like childbearing hips and actually have more fatty tissue on their body, particularly in their hips and buttocks and thighs, are more susceptible to having smarter children because apparently during development of the child within the womb, the mother's body takes the fatty deposits from those specific areas to create the brain matter of the baby, and that what helps develop the brain matter within the womb, which is something that
You know what the
I
best
actually learned today, which was actually
you know what the
really
best part
interesting.
about that is?
What
It's bullshit.
is it really?
Yeah, it's total bullshit.
I heard about that today, and I was like, really?
It is true that the mother produces a highly specific form of saturated fat that does end up around the hips, but it's not the size of the hips that dictate that.
Okay.
I know that that's sort of. I forget exactly. I used to know it. It's like H something 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 something, but it's a highly specific. It's actually very similar to brain matter. Done? Do you want to go to bed? Yeah. You say night night. Say it. Tell everybody good night. Good night night. Burp.
Night.
Night night.
Night night.
You had to go chugging. Now you got the hiccups. We're gonna go to bed. Yep. All right.
These circuits midgets cannot hold their booze.
Not at all. I'll be right back.
All right. So everybody, this is now the Steve show. It is no longer the Archer show. I do apologize. He was way more entertaining, but any hoozle. So yeah, what a time to be alive, man. This is I cannot stress enough how much I love Star Citizen. And I might, after this episode's done, I might just fucking hop back on and just keep streaming this probably like all night. Because I feel like I'll be able to do pretty okay. Then again, I probably should just go to sleep and be up early so I can stream on the other platform all day. I have to pick up.
Any hints where I can find the mic?
Any
Well,
hints on where I can find a mic? What button to push?
Oh, I was going to say any hints on where I can find the mic. I just read that first. I was be like, the last time I was in your room, I think it was under your bed.
By the way, your new furniture looks great from the yard.
From the yard.
Is he joking?
Get surveillance cameras. We'll find out. Fat of the hips helps baby development. Yes, hip and buttock fat plays a crucial role in baby's development. Oh, no shit. Okay. These fat stores.
It wasn't total bullshit.
These fat stores are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. That part I know, especially doca, hasa, hexa, sida, DHA. So yes, it's the DHA that helps with that.
Okay.
Research has indicated a link between a lower waist-hip ratio, indicating more fat in the hips and butt, and better cognitive performance in children, further supporting the role of this fat and brain development. No shit. I thought it was total horseshit. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of fat women.
Y'all laughed at me.
I know a lot of fat women had stupid kids.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, because which makes sense because my daughter's pretty smart, and baby mama is a sturdy gal.
I wish you watched this podcast.
I was actually telling her, so she's actually very into like murder mystery stuff. I think that and she actually works at an attorney's office.
Interesting.
And she knows quite a bit about like she loves like looking up like serial killer stuff. And because I was talking about it with her earlier today, and I was like, I told her straight up, I'm like, I should have like phoned you or something, like phoned a friend to when we were talking about this product. She's like, you should have, like, I would have been all over that. And
his baby mama.
Yeah. And but I told her like one of these days, like maybe I don't think it'd be a terrible idea to bring her on one day. Like maybe when I move down there so she won't have to drive as far. So I do want to move down there eventually. My goal is to hopefully, knock on wood, I can make enough by the end of this year to move down there so I don't have to drive as far to take her to school and all that jazz. And all that jazz.
Alden, what type of microphone do you have, dude? If you got Discord, you could totally use your phone. That works too. Cal Harris. Yeah, just download Discord on your phone. Go through that way. On the night of September 11th, 2001, Michelle Ann Harris of Spencer, New York, United States, left the restaurant where she worked as a waitress in nearby Waverly after finishing her shift and shared drinks with two coworkers, one of whom she had been romantically involved with, in the parking lot. She then went to see boyfriend in Smithborough and left shortly after 11. So well, you go to the App Store, download Discord, Discord, and then sign in. If you don't have an account, you're gonna have to make one. Make that, and I'll send you an invite link, and you can add through there. This was the last time anyone is known to have seen her. The next morning, her car was found on the road near the home she shared her children and estranged husband, Cal. He was later tried for the murder 4 times and convicted twice before being acquitted. The investigation into her disappearance has hampered since many of the state troopers who would normally have been involved had been bussed to New York City the previous day in response to the terrorist attacks of September 11th. Suspicion centered on Cal, whose divorce from Michelle had grown acrimonious, as he could have lost a considerable portion of his family fortune in the settlement. Cal was described by some as seemingly unconcerned in the aftermath of his wife's disappearance. Well, I understand because she was out to drinks with one dude she was knocking around with, and she left to go to her boyfriend's house. So she was not. He's obviously like, eh. Cal was described by some as seemingly unconcerned in the aftermath, dating other women and selling her belongings within weeks. It sounds like they were in a really shitty marriage. Further evidence of foul play was also circumstantial, largely consisting of some blood in the house and secondhand account of his threatening her. Cal Harris was eventually charged with second-degree murder and convicted despite of Michelle's continued absence. Morning after Harris was convicted, a witness emerged who claimed to have seen Michelle outside the family home on the morning of September 12th. Cal was retried and convicted again. After he had served several years in state prison, his conviction was overturned on appeal. A jury in a different county deadlocked on a verdict, leading to a bench trial which acquitted him. Harris has continued to protest his innocence. He has sued the state police, Tioga County District Attorney's Office, and several other malicious prosecution. 2017, he was arrested again after allegedly stalking one of his investigators. The lead defense investigator was written a book alleging his theory on how Cal Harris was framed. Yes, he's crying. And focuses on one of the men Michelle had reportedly dated at the time as a more likely suspect, given some evidence found in his former house. Well, that was my question immediately: is if she's having like obviously multiple affairs, why is Cal the only one getting prosecuted and there was no other suspects?
Yeah, it's interesting. One that I actually like, when we were talking about modern serial killers, he's not modern, but one that I'd never heard of actually, but was pretty interesting, was the dating game serial killer.
Oh yeah,
That was a wild one.
So funny story. The dating game serial killer. Steph hates it when I say this. He looks exactly like her Uncle Bruce. like a lot.
That's
State Police Tioga County had more limited resources available to them in the morning than they normally would have. Missing person case, since the majority of troopers, investigators in the area have been bussed down to New York City. Okay, we thought all that. Cal told Michelle that Michelle had never failed to return home after her evening shifts at Lefty's. He accompanied them back to his property and gave them written permission to search it, then return to work. If they needed to take the minivan, Cal added they could, but wanted it back afterwards so he could have the oil change, something he said Michelle always neglected to do. He told the investigators that she may have been using cocaine and with some of the people she had gotten to know in Waverly, and they should pump the shit out of them. Police also searched the Harris property with helicopters and dogs, including divers and sonar, in both the small pond near the driveway. So her body was never found. And this guy's house was, and there was no evidence connecting him and Michelle's disappearance. And after Early, who had also allowed the police to search both his apartment and his family's hunting cabin in neighboring Bradford, Pennsylvania, and Casper all passed lie detector tests, they were cleared as suspects. That left Cal Harris himself, who, because of the pending divorce and likelihood of large settlement, had a motive to kill Michelle. 3 days after Michelle disappeared, Joseph Anderson, a state police forensics investigator, entered the house's open garage, where he saw what appeared to be red blood splatter on the wall. There was more on the doorway to the house. This was used to obtain a search warrant for the house and further investigation. No. You don't get blood on the wall by accident. Well, it's technically by accident. That's an interesting case. I definitely got to go check that out.
Yeah, I just never really had any interest in like that subject.
You're such a bum.
I know, no fun.
I'll be right back. I might end up having to call this. I mean, it is 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Bitch, I can only get Discord if I pay. No, you shouldn't have to pay. Discord's free. Shouldn't have to pay for that. All right, he's losing his mind. If I don't calm him down, he's not going to sleep at all tonight.
Yeah, do what you got to do, man.
Alden, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to jump off of here. I got to go take care of my kid.
All right. Anyone who is watching this post stream, appreciate you, and everyone who followed. Let us know if there's any subjects you'd like to see. Again, we have a Discord. I'm gonna make sure we got our link tree in there.
Yep.
Actually, right now, and then